All right, how does science integrate into the Learning Studio?
Oh my gosh. Well, in our Learning Studio, science is where we're starting because we're going outside. The kids, we have a spot outside right now this year that we've kind of adopted a plot. So we have an area of the woods that we went out, we measured, we had a camera out there that was motion activated, that ran until the batteries ran dry and it got too cold, so we brought it back in. It's going back out now that it's warm again. But we've been limited with time slots. We have a 45-minute time period that I can take the kids out. So if I take out 12 kids in the morning when they go out at 7:50, by the time we get there, we have maybe 15 minutes to do anything, and then we have to come on back. So we're hoping, learning from that for next year when we actually take them out and do our real plot study. That's going to be involved throughout the day, and we're looking at changing our schedule so we have 2 hours with a class out there, but it impacts all of our classes, so it's something that we have to work. That's one of the issues that we have.
How do you think the Learning Studio will improve teaching and learning in the classroom?
I think long term it'll make the teaching more effective. Long term or short term, it's going to take more time. Whenever you do anything that changes your approach, there's a lot of time involved in the planning. And I think that's going to be a huge thing. I'm glad we're doing it at the beginning of the year as opposed to the end. So impact on teaching and what was the other part?
Just like the students and like the learning in the classroom.
I know that the students, when I would take my Flex kids outside this year, they were very into being able to go out. The one thing they didn't like so much is putting on an orange paint. But it is the woods, and there can be hunters out there, but we've got some orange ones and some green ones. And they got into being out there. I think it would be better if I wasn't the only one outside. If I have 24 students, if they have a specific task, and after a while you can get away with being one person and have eyes, but initially I think you have to have probably more than one person out there for safety.
How do you think the students feel about this project overall?
I don't
like. Are they excited about
the kids that know about going out and mapping are excited about doing that? Yes. Mm-hmm. Just the fact that they are not only getting to go outside and do something real, but they're sort of seeing themselves as they're helping out Mrs. Radway and I figuring out how to do mapping and how to use the app and stuff like that. So.
All right.
Learning studios. In my own words, it's more of, it's an approach to teaching and learning. It's not a physical place. It's learning the way it should be in our century. So we're looking at, the buzzword here is 21st century learning. I don't know if you hear that in your classes at all. But our kids need to be prepared for jobs that haven't yet been created. So if a student is looking at an area of land and they're trying to identify what the species of plants are, and they're like, well, why would I have to know what tree this is? Well, if you don't really care about trees, do you really need to know? No, but you need to be able to answer a question in any job that you have. You need to be able to communicate information to others in any job you have. So those are the types of things that we will be able to do. If you're not here, so it's kind of hard to understand the way our schedule works, but the kids that I have during my first period don't travel to every single class together, so they get mixed. So the kids that I have, when I take out a group of kids, those same kids will not show up in that class. So if their data isn't recorded accurately, clearly, and able to be read by somebody else, the person sitting in math class is going to look at that information and not be able to figure out what it means. So there's that communication piece that's really important. And then the same kids, or no mix, they shuffle around. So when they get social studies, again, it's not those same kids. But by the time we work on it in social studies, they're probably doing more of their own individual